Okay, thanks for joining us back to the third round of Mage Knight First Reconnaissance. I've shifted the map a little, so we've lost the sort of starting tiles, camera focus a bit more on where we are currently, and with that we've got a couple of options in front of us. We've got two monasteries not far away, so we could go perhaps recruiting here, although actually there's no units in the offer that can be recruited at monasteries, but there are the advanced actions. Both of them are healing, may not necessarily be what we need the most, but then we can explore over here. Otherwise there is the dungeon and the rampaging orc over this way, and it's daytime, so going through the forest isn't too bad, but this this is the swamp terrain, would cost us 5 movement, so that is pretty bad to get through. But potential of an artifact or a spell in the dungeon here, without losing as much reputation as we would from those two monasteries. So let's draw our first hand. We did get ourselves up to a hand of 6 at the end of the last round, so let's see. But we're not next to a keep. No, we're not next to one of our keeps, so we won't get the additional card. So Instinct, Rage, Mana Draw, Swiftness, Threaten and Concentration. Pretty versatile set of cards there, particularly with Concentration and a green mana in the source. We could get a range attack of 5. That's really strong. Probably the one thing we're lacking a little bit of is move, but we've got Instinct here. But yeah, I think with no units to recruit from a monastery, I'm not too fussed if we don't burn it down. We would lose 3 reputation, but hopefully there'll be another rampaging enemy. We could get that back, and it would only leave us on -1 in this here, which isn't the worst place to get an artifact. And then we'd only need the move. We've got concentration potentially for the attack 5. We've got a spare block, or we could use mana draw and get a couple. Because chances are with the monastery, because they do not count as fortified enemies, we might be able to just defeat them with that range attack. We won't be able to include our units. They will not join in as we pillage the temple, so we would have to do it with 5, but if that isn't enough, we could do the stronger effect on one of these other cards instead, and using mana draw even power up the other card as well. So I think, oh no, we wouldn't be able to, yeah, we'd be using this card, wouldn't we, for the movement. The other option is to use swiftness and know that we have to block, but I think I'll take the risk that we would potentially be able to kill them with an attack of 5 for a purple enemy. And this is something you can look at. There's a fair few options which, with a range attack of 5, we would be able to kill. Although this would normally be 6 because it's physically resistant. We have this ability which would actually reduce it by 1, so it would make it 2 armor, so we'd need 4, so we could kill those. We could kill these. Again, these would be 4, these we could kill, these we could kill. It would just be sorcerers and the magic familiars we wouldn't be able to. So that's 4 tokens out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 out of 14. So what's that? About a third. So it's pretty good. So let's use it. We use Instinct as 2 movement and move on to the monastery, at which point we will lose our 3 reputation. 1, 2, 3, and reveal a purple token. and it is the, what do they call those? Ice golems. So these have got 4 armor. They've got both ice and physical resistance, which would normally be a problem, but with this, each of these resistances actually reduces this token's armor by 1, so they only have an armor of 2. So that works really well for what we are looking to do, because we have swiftness and we will power it with concentration. So this card, when you play this, play another action card with it, get the stronger effect for free, and if it gives any type of attack, which is this case ranged attack, get that amount plus 2. So we've got ranged attack 5, it has an armor of 2 with resistance, we would need 4, it is dead. Although its attack isn't particularly strong, so its attack actually we could just block because we have a fire here, so actually possibly instead of using the range attack to only need an attack of 4, we could just use the gold die on rage, and that leaves us with this combination. Potentially we could then go straight into the next monastery. I mean, we would lose all of our reputation, but I think I'll do this. I'll keep concentration for the flexibility. We'll just use the gold die for the attack 4 here, using this token for the fire for the block. So there you see a good bit of versatility in how we could actually decide to take on this enemy. And considering there's a green die in the source, using this gold as a red isn't the worst thing we could do right now. So let's tidy this up. We're going to gain 5 fame for that token being destroyed, and with artifacts you draw 2 and you can keep 1. So we've got the option of the endless bag of gold, which gives you influence 4 and fame 2, so it's a nice way to keep getting fame. And if you destroy the artifact, you'd get 9 influence, 3 fame. So that could be a really good way, even if we have a negative reputation, to recruit a unit. Or the Amulet of Darkness, you gain a mana token of any colour. If played during the day, deserts have their move cost reduced to 3, and you can use black mana as if it were night. So that's very useful. Normally black mana can only be used at night, or if you're in a dungeon, for example, because you treat it as night no matter what. Obviously, you know, down in a dungeon it is dark, you can use the black mana. But if you wanted to assault a city during the day and you're looking to power up spells with the black mana, you could only do it at night. So that's a good versatility. And the strong effect is you just get 3 mana tokens. I think I prefer the bag of gold normally, but considering we've only got 1 more round after this, and this gives us a mana of any colour, which we could potentially use next round if we wanted to attack that next monastery, I think I'm going to go Amulet of Darkness. So that goes on top of our deed deck. Reroll the mana, it's another green, and discard these 2 cards, and we do put 1 of our tokens to mark the monastery is destroyed. So we've got 4 cards in our hand. Oh, we didn't do tactics. That was a bit of a mistake, because we should have had the opportunity to take one of these cards. So I will take just the lowest number, so that I would be guaranteed to go first. We'll just take Rethink, except we won't use its ability. So I'll shuffle up, doesn't really matter. He has number 6, so he is going after us. The dummy player will draw 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, and it's red. So he has no red crystals. That is his turn. We draw 2 new cards, the Amulet and Ambush. Wow, Ambush, that can be really strong. Because Ambush is going to mean +2 to the first attack card of any type. Or even actually move to +1 to the first attack card of any type. We were pretty much guaranteed to kill any purple enemy we came across. The only exception was the magic familiars and the sorcerers. They had 6 and 7. With Ambush, that becomes only the magic familiars. If we use the strong ability, we can guarantee we kill any of them. We could use Mana Draw to get an additional die from the source, power up Ambush, and definitely have enough range attack. But I think I quite want to keep hold of Mana Draw. Although we could just, we'd reveal another tile. It's not the worst thing. So if we do move 4 and explore first of all, and this is locked in now that we've done and revealed a new tile. We have 1 new location. So let's place this here. And let's find the info card for the Ancient Ruins. When revealed, place a yellow token here, face up during the day and face down at night. In this particular case, it is an altar, so we'd pay 3 white mana for 7 fame. Otherwise, it could have enemies, and you have to defeat those enemies to get a specific type of reward. Sometimes it would be crystals, spells, recruit a unit. That can be any type. In this case, we had an altar, so you'd have to sacrifice some mana. A rampaging enemy goes here. So that move is locked in place. We cannot change this Ambush now. But we'll use the remaining move. So we have 2 moves left to get onto that next monastery. And let's lose another 3 reputation. 1, 2, 3. So we're down at a -3 reputation, making it very hard to recruit anyone. We need to get another purple token. And these are monks. They have 5 armor, so that will be very easy for us to deal with. We don't actually need to use concentration because we've got +2 to the first attack. We could use Amulet of Darkness to get a white mana and then power up Swiftness that way. And again, then we could keep concentration to potentially power up a separate attack card or a really strong move card. Yeah, I like the sound of that. So we'll gain a mana token of any colour. It's going to be white to get the range 3, but that's actually range attack 5, which is enough to kill this enemy. So we get 4 more fame. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we are 2 away from levelling up. But we do get 2 more artifact cards, and we can take one of these. So we have the Emerald Ring, get a green mana token and green crystal, or Shield of the Fallen, which is again, some very nice blocks. I think what we want to do next is attack one of these rampaging enemies or the dungeon. So the shield could be really useful, considering we won't be able to take any of our units into the dungeon. But equally, having a green crystal from our ring would mean we're guaranteed to be able to power up concentration. do have some very strong block abilities. When we get to assault the city though, Shield of the Fallen Kings is probably more useful because we do have 2 crystals in our bag. So let's take Shield of the Fallen King. That will go on top of our deed deck, and we have used these 3 cards. So we roll, we get white mana and discard these. Goldix then goes 3. It's a blue card. He now has 2 blue crystals, so we reveal 2 more. He has 3, 6, he has 10 cards left, so we're not in too much of a rush. We'll draw back up to 6, and I didn't mark this monastery is conquered, so we won't have any more advanced actions in the recruit offer since both monasteries have been pillaged. So we've got the move we need to get to that dungeon, but we don't have any attack. So I think if we just play move 4 to get onto the dungeon space, and then another 2 moves to explore, and I'm tempted to just discard threaten depending on what we see, and then draw some extra cards up. So let's do the move, let's do our full move and then 2 and lock that into place. So we're going to move 2, 4 and reveal a tile, and it is not the city, it is just one of the core city, core non-city tiles. So we have another keep and an ancient site. So this one, if you defeat 1 grey and purple enemy, you can recruit any unit from the offer, which if there are some strong units or some that you want to recruit from a place that you'd have to travel quite far to get their requisite location, you can just do it that way. And we have our first Draconum. So rather than the green rampaging enemies, you have dragons on the core tiles. And these are basically the same, except if you kill one, instead of 1 reputation you get 2, because people are much happier if you kill a dragon. So in this case, this is where's this dragon? It is the ice dragon. It is both ice and physically resistant, so for us that would actually only have 5 armor, but we'd need 10 attack to kill it because it's physically resistant, and we have no elemental attack abilities, and it has 6 ice attack, which is pretty hard to block, but this block 6 would go a long way towards this. It would count as 3 block because it's the wrong element. If you do not completely block this paralyze ability, if you take the damage, you have to discard instantly every card in your hand. You can only use your skills and units from that point, or if you assign damage to a unit, that unit is destroyed, not just wounded, it is removed from the game. So pretty dangerous, but this is out here. I think potentially we could defeat that. There's definitely nothing we're going to need any influence for. There's no new village, or the keep is quite far away. We'd want to fight something before we got to that point. So I'm going to choose to also discard threaten, just for the extra limit. We're on that dungeon space, so hopefully we can fight the dungeon, maybe move over here, pick up a crystal, fight this guy, explore here. Would be a pretty good set of turns. Getting to this keep would be nice. As I said, we've already got 1, so that increases our hand limit. If we conquer this one, it would increase it by 2, but that's quite far away, certainly not something to worth planning that far in advance for. So let's re-roll this dice. We have another white, so 2 white and a green mana die in the source. And Goldix will draw 3 cards, and it is white. So he has no white crystals, that is his turn. Draw 3 more. So we have range attack now, which is nice, especially again considering we've got concentration, so we can go for that same powered up combo. And this time we've also got a block ability here. So we're already on the location, we can just dive straight in. This is an adventure site, so a few rules. It counts as night time, so you could use black mana, but you cannot take any units, and we will draw 1 brown token. So we have here, oh, what's that, the Manticore, I believe it is. Struggling to see it. Yes, the Manticore. So it has quite a few abilities on there. It is fire resistant. We're not using elemental attacks. It's got swiftness, so to block it, you have to treat its attack value as double. It has assassinate, that little bloody knife. So if you do not block it, the damage has to be assigned to you. You cannot assign that damage to your units. We don't have any units with us anyway, so we couldn't do that. And it is poison, so any wound you take, you also put 1 in your discard. So some very dangerous abilities there. But that fire resistance is perfect for us. Using this ability, that it brings it down to a defense of 5. And we can then use concentration with the green mana in the source to use swiftness for a range attack 5 and kill it before it gets into combat with us. So we didn't even need our shield. So yeah, easy as that. 5 fame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we will roll 1 die to determine our reward. It is a white, so that will be another artifact. So let's do a bit of cleanup. Get rid of this token. Reroll the die for the source. Ooh, black mana, disappointing. Yes, just those 2 cards we used. And let's have a look at our artifacts. So we have the Endless Gem Pouch. Roll a mana die twice, gain a crystal to your inventory for each colour rolled this way. If you roll gold, choose the colour, and if you rolled black, fame +1 instead. Heal and fame. Well, we haven't actually taken any wounds, so golden grail is probably not something we're going to need. So we'll get rid of that, and we'll take the Endless Gem Pouch. So we're definitely looking pretty good for crystals. We have also leveled up again. We've gone here, so we will take 2 more tokens, and we have night sharpshooting, so +1 range damage during the day or 2 at night, or cold swordsmanship, +2 either cold damage or normal damage. And we also have the opportunity, if we wanted to take one of the dummy player's skills, if we wanted the flexibility with these tokens, but it would mean we have to take Peaceful Moment. I'm quite tempted by Swift Bolt, and then taking the Night Sharpshooting. That would give us 5 ranged attack, which is pretty good. But we don't have any elemental damage, so I really think the cold swordsmanship could come in very useful at some point, but it won't be against the dragon, which we want to fight next, because that does have ice and physical resistance. drawn both of our swiftness? Yes. We do still have our siege attack card. And if we were to draw that, we could have 4, 5, 6, 7, we could have 10 range damage, which would be exactly enough to kill the dragon. So maybe that's something we try and aim towards. Let's take the sharpshooting. Having the extra range attack, we've got a good few range cards. It's pretty useful. We're going to take Swift Bolt to give us 1 extra. So Endless Gem Pouch and Swift Bolt are going to go on top of our deck. So we know what our next 2 cards we're going to draw will be. So with that in mind, do we want to discard anything else? Again, we could get rid of Promise. We aren't going to need it. There's nothing we can recruit coming up. So let's discard 1 extra card. And that will end our turn. So, dummy player will draw 3 cards. It's red. So that means they don't draw any more. And they've got potentially, well, at worst, we're going to have 2 more turns, potentially 3 if we get lucky. So we've got to rush a little bit, but if we have a pretty dynamic turn using a few cards, we haven't got a huge amount left. So Tranquility, that's quite a nice one to draw actually, because that requires a green card. We could use Mana Draw with a white die to get 2 green mana tokens, which would definitely power these up. We could then draw 2 cards and see if we get lucky enough to have all the range we might need, and if not, yeah, we'd have 3. We'd only need 2 more movement to get onto the blue crystal mine. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So let's lock in Mana Draw, and we'll change this black mana die to green, so it just refreshes the source again. We'll use the 2 crystals. One of those here. We don't need the heal ability, so we will draw 2 more cards. Crystallize and Cold Toughness. So we can't really make use of Crystallize unless we lose some of our movement this time around. Let's just move here. That will get us a gold mana next round. And let's have a little quick think. We might move on. We do still have 1 more movement. We could potentially, before we attack, just spend Crystallize for the extra movement to reveal this space. But let's think if we can destroy this token. So it's only got an attack of 4. So it's pretty easy to block. We've got a block of 3 anyway, so we could spend even just Crystallize as enough block, and then use our swordsman to kill it. And at least then we're playing a few more cards. We'd probably just discard Crystallize otherwise. We can use Endless Gem Pouch to get the 2 crystals. There's no reason to hold on to it. I think what I will do before we do the attack is roll the Endless Gem Pouch, because if we roll 2 green crystals, we can crystallize one of them. Oh no, that's literally the same thing. Yeah, I was going to say the only way we're wasting mana is if we roll 2 greens, and we've got 2 already, but Yeah, I think that's quite good. It gives us an extra reputation, uses a few extra cards. So we'd only have 3 in our hand. We'll be drawing our last 3, which should, yeah, means we've definitely got our, unless I've already used it, no, we definitely have our siege attack. So we're moving there. We're going to fight this guy using our 3 defense and crystallize to make 4, and then we need 3 attack to kill it. We could use cold toughness actually for an attack 2 plus our sharpshooting. Save the swordsman. Nah, I don't think that's worth it. So that's pretty good. And we'll just roll for the endless gem pouch. A black and a white, so we get the white crystal. And black, we get fame plus 1. So we get 1 fame and 2 for killing this token, plus the 1 reputation. Return mana, draw to the source with a gold. All these tokens. Buy gem pouch. 1, 2, 3. And our last 3 cards. March, Rage, and Crushing Bolt. Dummy player draws blue. He has 2 blue cards, but he can only draw 1 more. So we will have this turn, and then the dummy player calls end of round, and then we will have 1 more. So let's have a look at where we are. Exploring this tile would be good, but given the cards we have remaining, I didn't actually fulfill the offer. Given the cards we have remaining, if we use a green mana to get move 4, we need 3 movement to get to here anyway. I'd be quite tempted to actually spend 6 movement to get here and reveal the keep before the end of the day. So if we were to look at doing that, we would have to spend not only our march, but rage and cold toughness. And if we're powering up, oh, we've got a gold crystal. So if we were to power move up, for example, for 4, 5, 6 movement to get 3, 4, 5, 6, that would automatically provoke the rampaging dragon. And looking at the dragon's abilities, the armor of 7 would come down to 5 because of our armor breaker ability here. It's still physically resistant, but we could make 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 from our boot and crossbowman, which would half down to 5, but we'd need both a white and green mana for that. And we would just have our shield left over, which is fine. The other option would be to try and block its attack, and we'd have a fire block 2, which reduces this to 4, block 6, block 8, which would be sufficient. But then to kill it, we're in the same situation really. We'd still need to get to 10, which we could use cold toughness as 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'd need to use this and keep crushing bolt. So actually I think that's better, isn't it, if we do do just block it. So that's the basic ability for 6, 7, 8. Which is halved in effectiveness because it's not fire, so that's 4 plus our skill token, which makes 6, so it blocks him. 10 damage. We have this token for 1, this for 4, 5, 6, and then ranged attack here for 10. And we could gain 1 more green crystal. We wouldn't be able to do much bar that, but having this 1 shield left over and needing to use 2 crystals is definitely worse. So yeah, that second way, actually blocking it, is better than trying to kill it with our ranged attack. So bit of a shame that we took this one instead of the cold swordsmanship actually, but never know quite what the hand of cards are going to get up. So oh no, because I was using these as the move, wasn't I? That's where it came from. 4, 5, 6 movement. So we would need to still use both even if we blocked it, so that's fine. It's not a waste. So we get ranged attack 2 from our crossbowman, 3 from this ability here. We can use the white die from the source and use a green crystal to get attack 10 to kill it. Nice. So we get 2 reputation, and we will get 8 fame, 2, 4, 6, 8, which is enough to level up. So we will just flip 1 more token over, increases our armor once more. Move us, and because we're adjacent to a keep, we can flip it over during the day. And they are fortified swordsmen. So actually in a fortified site they count as double fortified. So not even siege attack can take them out before combat. But with an attack of 3, we actually have a skill that just blocks them anyway. So that's not a problem for us. So nice to see that that is there actually, because it means we've got no problem with attacking them next round. So let's tidy up, re-roll this die, we get red, we lose our gold mana and our green crystal. Please. Dummy player has no more cards, so he calls end of round. We only have 1 card, so we can't unfortunately even spend our last cards sideways to explore these spaces next to us. But we will end our round there and go into the final night. Hopefully we find the city soon, because we are running out of time if we do wish to conquer that city. Thanks for joining me, and bye for now.